think we're live. I think we are. I think so. That's the theory anyways. Hi, everybody. Okay, it's Friday. And you know what that means? It's the day after Thursday, Chris. Oh, thanks. As a Friday, I tend to look at the week's pages. So just give me a second while I kick those up. I've had a really productive week. I'm gonna be honest. It's one of those weeks where you're like, really? We did this much junk? Anyways. Monday, Tuesday. Yeah. Okay. So anyhow, I'm gonna kick those open. Question of the day. You got a one-page idea. Feel free to shoot it out. And one of the things I want to chat about is how to level up your art career. So, we'll take a look at that there. But in the meantime, let's go to today's page. Okay, so today's page is from a suggestion yesterday of RJF, and the suggestion was license plate hashtag XXXX, and I chose BUG16. Please come to the front desk. This is fun. This was a lot of fun. So, of course, as is my usual, I got carried away, and I got to draw a bunch of weird bugs, space bugs, as I like to call them. But this was fun. This was a lot of fun to do, and just silly yolks. I like with the yolks. So we got some of those up here, and this is one page about it. Fancy urge, that ain't half bad there, pal. So let's see, where do we start? Monday was a one-page comic. Game night. I just got carried away, and I talked about this earlier this week. It was all about spacing. This page is in pencil crayon. I'm gonna forget who suggested pages. So if it's you, put your hand up. But game night was a suggestion here. And then this is a 3-page bit. And then, it's who would back you up at a fight? My cat. That's a Dee Willingham suggestion. And then day 3 is, Tuesday, day 3. Tuesday was the day that dishes washed me. This is a suggestion from C. Reamer. And again, it's another page that I got carried away with. So this one-page comic that day ended up being 2 pages, which brings me to 5 for 2 days. Anyways, but I just wanted to space it out a little bit and have some fun with it. That's watercolor. This is Wednesday's page, which is the Quillidator suggested this. This is Mr. Anatomy, guy with the powers of bad anatomy, which he has an incredibly overdeveloped upper body and little skinny legs. So yesterday's page, the great locomotive scampers in history. This is 3 words out of a bag. So the words were train, beetle, hourglass. So the 3 words are in there. The rest of it is a flight of my fancy. And then, of course, Thursday is enough to drive you buggy. So there we go. This was fun. So today's page, what about today's page, Chris? Well, I'm glad you asked. I got a big old piece of paper here. You know what that means? What's that mean, Chris? We're going to draw on it. Boy, oh boy, keep up. Okay, so I've got, with this paper, I have got a number of different colors and heavy grade cardstocks and the like. So there's green, there's light blue, there's dark blue. There's we did an orange recently, so we're not going to do that. Black, kind of a weird, I don't know what that color is, and a envelope. So if there's one that tickles anyone's fancy, let me know, and that's what I'll work on. Otherwise, I'm just going to get going on whatever today. And if there's a medium that anybody wants me to use specifically, let me know, and I'll get crack-a-lacking on with that too. Easy like Sunday morning. So back in a fight, and then today's was butyl hourglass trains. So feeling good, getting like I said, we're getting pretty good and pretty caught up. So keep them suggestions a coming. There's lots of fun stuff still to come, but you know, it's a good feeling when you consider how many we've been going through and how many suggestions that have been coming in, and I'm really appreciative of that we've got through things as well as we have. There's going to be a shakeup coming soon, and that shakeup is going to be in accordance with the publisher. A number of the pages that we are including in the book are going to be removed from my social sites. So I just thought I'd warn some people of that, and at the same time, and encourage them to take a last gander, because after that, you're only going to see them in the book. And the book isn't going to be released digitally, not at first. It'll be months and months away if we do it all. Because what is the point of selling a digital copy when ideally I'm a book guy, right? So I want you to have a copy in your hot little hands so that you can peruse it. I don't know, wherever you feel comfortable, the Saldoban, wherever works for you. Oh, I know what I had suggested, that today was going to be the Earth is flooded with diverse creatures that science has decided will be a good idea to bring back. Okay, so this is what I had actually promised to do today. So that's what we're going to do. It's the last of the 500 years from now, which means if anybody has been so inspired as to think up any new 500 years from now, this is my BOT, box of tricks. I'm sorting through here. All right, there's my BOT getting put aside. Okay, it's been a fun week, but I hope everybody's having a good time out there. Everybody's got big plans. Those of you that have kids, oh my gosh, good luck. If you got them youngins that are still at home, you got to get them all occupied now, because it's summertime, and you know what that means. Okay, here's one of the funniest stories I've ever heard, and at the same time, kind of sad. My wife, her dad, when they were kids, after church, he would take the kids. I'm trying to sharpen, and it's making me mad. He would take his kids after church to go and check out the beach, which was not entirely too far from their house. They lived out in the country. It's probably a 25-minute drive, right? And these are these summertime kinds of things. Let's go check out the beach, kids. But because neither of the parents could swim, they weren't comfortable with actually going out of the and if the kids are in the water, anything that goes wrong, what are they going to do? So they would drive to the beach at the turnaround and say, there it is. Let's go. They went to the beach. That's awesome. That's almost as good as being on a road trip, pulling off on a big road trip, pulling off the highway to go to a fast food, restaurant. Let's call one the Golden Arches, and pulling those line. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's a black stuff. Okay, so Earth. So 500 years from now, this is the. So if anybody else has any 500 years from now ideas, these are fun to do, and they always star our pal, Dr. Corbell Johansson. So 500 years from now, Earth is flooded with diverse creatures that science decided will be a good idea to bring back. Okay, this is a fun one, and this comes from a guy so nice, he's got a name twice. We just don't know what it is. It's Anonymous Anonymous. So if anybody's got any big plans, let's learn how to spell anonymous. ×2. I know that's actually 4. I get it. I know. Put it just the 2. You know what we're doing. We're having some fun. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun doing these 500 years from now pages, and it's one of those sort of series that, you know, once you get rolling on it, it's really kind of it just sort of feeds itself, right? Oh, look at this. Look at this. Listen to this statement. Happy summer, honey pumpkin. That's great, Jim. Happy summer, Jim. Yeah, you know, if you have any flex stories that you want to tell about with your own childhood growing up, where, you know, here you are for summer fun and you think X is going to happen, and your parents give you a left turn and go, why? And because they love you. Let us know. I'd love to hear it. I really would, because that's the funny stuff right there. Straightening the old camera out. So I cleaned yesterday, and you know what happens when I clean? Things get moved around. Okay, so I thought I'd start off with introducing a guy, like bringing him in. You know, having him walk into panel. This is a crazy character that, just because he's popped up in seven of these pages now, it's just sort of it's almost like old hat to draw him, but at the same time, I gotta constantly think of different ways to have him doing things. So I thought in this one, you know, I'd bring him in as though he's, you know, getting off an airplane and the basic guy. So I don't know. Just trying different things. That's all. Listen, before we get going any further, I just want to say one thing. I don't want to brag, but I'm making Shake and Bake tonight. Yeah, you heard it here first. For those that don't know, my name is Christopher Runtsman, and this is One Page Story Extravaganza. This year's episode is number 128. And we're working on One Page Comic 161. So, you know, we're having a ball there. So when I had started streaming at the beginning of this year, I'd already been sort of, I didn't start doing it every Monday through Friday, every day at first. And so that's how the number count is off initially. But you know, we're doing our best. We're having some fun. But what happens is people suggest one-page ideas, you know, suggestions of some manner. And or it's like 3-word prompts from Dee Dee Willingham's stream where she pulls them out of a bag. And my task each day is to make a full 1-page comic out of it. This week has been an exception week because I made a 3-page and a 2-page instead of just 1 pages on 2 of the days. So we are sorry. So sorry. And so what I've got coming up this year is that we sent it off to the publisher last night. It is on its way to the publisher. So that's my big news. You know, this topic that I have today about leveling up your art career, this is me doing my shot. This is me taking my shot, is sending that off to the publisher for printing. So I'm very, you know, there's a part of me that's very excited. And at the same time, there's a part of me that's incredibly reticent right now. And it's because I don't care how, you know, unless you got some sort of sociopathic defect, everybody gets anxious at some point in time. And for me, it's now, because the intention with this and the stage that we're working at is on a much larger scale than I have been. Preceding this has been regional, local, you know, Southwestern Ontario, etc. Whereas this is me doing a book that's going to be available internationally. And dude, it's freaking me out a little bit. So, you know, but I'm really excited and going for it anyways. Sometimes we got to do those things where we take those leaps and we make those efforts to go outside of our comfort zone. And I think that's, in my head, I'm thinking that's what it takes to take things farther. What am I saying? Oh, Jim says, congratulations on sending them off. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that very much. It was a bit of a chore to get that running out last night, but we did it. So now it's, you know, the editors are at it. Let's see, they're opening up a file and going, what in the world is this? Oh, no. Margie, it's another comic. Oh, not another comic. He calls it a story. He calls it stories, not comics. That's what's happening right now. You know. And, you know, they'll just have to make do. Because it's happening. Oh, yes, it's happening. And Jim adds the book. Congratulations on sending off the book. Thank you, Jim. Yeah, it feels good, but at the same time, there's that part of me that's, you know what I mean? It's, how do I explain this? It's kind of like you put yourself out there for scrutiny now because it's going through a process, and that process isn't in your control. And because we started RP Comics, Runciman Press, in 20, it's always been in my control up until now. The first 30 things that I've done. So this is challenging. It's a little bit scary. So we'll get there though. Okay, what am I missing? I'm trying to keep up. Blathering away over here. One-page idea. Christopher drawing a one page of Christopher drawing a one page of Christopher draw. Oh my goodness. How many times do I need to write it? This is great. We'll write it down. Okay. Christopher. That's me. My name's Christopher. Drawing a one page of Christopher. Hey, that's me. My name's Christopher. Drawing a one page of Christopher. Hey, that's me. My name's Christopher. Etc. Into infinity. Kind of etc. infinity there in the same sentence. Doubling down, Mr. Lewin. There we go. Yeah, it was fun this week also to be on. It's in the book. It was fun this week to also be on the stream with Mr. Jim Lewin on his channel. If you haven't checked it out by now, please do so. It was a lot of fun. We talked about the project that he's working on, his latest project called The Full Fungus. And he has a stream called Hey Man, how's your movie going? So, you know, that was a lot of fun. We were chatting it up, comparing recipes, recipes, you know. How do you make brownies there? You know, with a whole ton of lard there. Yeah. So the book, here comes some, I'm going to give away some secrets. Secrets! The book includes right up till recent pages. We went through and as we're choosing pages, we thought, you know, it's kind of when you do a project, you get that project out like this, as much as you want to ideally pick out your best, put your best foot forward. At the same time, some of those things have been done for a few months now, and there's stuff that's more present, and so I kind of want to celebrate that, not lose that energy that we have for, you know, people's recent suggestions that have been done. So some of the recent pages that have been completed are inside that book, including, does anybody want to hear any of the ones that are in there? Want me to spill some of the proverbial bean? Because I will spill beans. I will open the can, and it shall go upon thy floor. Yay. So I'm drawing Corbell from memory because, as I said, he's been in a few pages now. So because the intention of this is this rather long, no, this is why I left this to the end, because just as a lot, it's too much to read. Earth is going to be flooded with diverse that science decides will be a good way to bring back. So I don't know. There's a part of me that's debating that at one point I'm just going to have like here's my entire intention with this page. At some point, I'm going to have our scientist character riding on the back of a bison. That's it. That's my big think. That's my big think about this. I want to draw somebody riding a bison. Why do you want to do that, Chris? Why don't you ask? Why wouldn't anyone want to draw somebody riding a bison? See, that's part of leveling up your art career. You got to learn to draw bison. Yeah, big cows of the prairie. So I'm drawing, starting off by drawing Corbell pulling his luggage behind him, just because it's funny. Today's page, I really enjoyed the one that was posted today. It's enough to drive you buggy. I was just having too much fun with that. I really was. Just bad. Just a bad dad joke, just nonstop, just going for it, you know. I'm not even going to check cat cam today unless one of the cats comes in. They are basking in the sunshine. They've suffered some serious trauma recently with fireworks and you know, rain. Just nightmare things for them. And you know, we're just hoping the best for these poor kids. So they're going to need to get some of their cat sleep, a little bit of a cat nap. I'm trying to learn a whole bunch of things. This is part of this whole topics that come to my mind each day are usually things that I'm having to cope with. And in that process of having to cope with some of these things, this is what I talk about. Now, for all I know, most people have their sound turned off, and that's completely fine. I just Keep on with the yapping if you must. I'm looking at the pictures, bozo. But it's because, like I said earlier, it's such a different level that I'm trying to get my material out to. It's whether it does or doesn't, I don't, I'm going to do my best, but this is where these thoughts about promotion come in. Optimally, it would be nice if I figure out places to do interviews on and try to get people to go and look at it. But I've still got all this dancing around to do to get the thing finished. So, but in the meantime, this is the other part of leveling up, is that I have to learn all this marketing stuff that I don't, who looks forward to that? Jim asked, does Corbin have an Only Cats page? Is there such a thing? It's a bunch of middle-aged guys in cat suits drinking milk off the floor like weirdies. It's never what anyone was hoping for, which is just cute kitties. There's a static uniform that this character wears, and that is a mustard yellow ridiculous turtleneck and a heart-shaped boxer briefs. Those are going to be drawn next. His lab coat. He's always wearing lab gloves for the most part, I think. If I remember, I can't remember. But, you just got to keep that consistency going for your character. And while it might not make any sense about why is this guy walking through an airport with, no pants on, but there are people in our midst that can answer questions like that. I mean, I'm sure Paul has some pretty good answers for why people do that, but Paul paid everybody. He's the person to ask if anybody has any serious concerns on that issue. So I'm just drawing him as he's walking through the airport here, and I'm drawing him with because it's 500 years from now, I'm drawing him with a little suitcase, little backpack that he's pulling behind him that's hovering off the ground just the same. So in regards to Jim's question, no, Corbin does not have a Only Cats page. Is that like a place for cats to go if they want to meet other cats? Hey, I'm an only cat. I want to be a coupled cat. So make sure to get the important details here. And that is hearts on the underoos. If you're enjoying what we're doing here, please feel free to give a like, or if you don't like what we're doing here, please feel free to make some comments. I don't like this. You're too tall. Your teeth are weird. Nice hat. Nice hat, guy. Whatever comments you want to make. Did you know that a fellow named Carver created peanut butter? Did you know that? All right, so there's the pants. I want to give a little more body to that arm, just because it's a little too thin, a little too slender there. Today's musical choice, by the way, is Kasabian. Kasabian? That's what I said. What in the world is Kasabian? All right, so I'm going to get his feet. He's wearing the big old clodhoppers of work boots. It's funny to see people clunking around in work boots, you know, that are too big for them. I always get a kick out of that. So I'm like, they're heavy in the first place. Why are you doing that yourself? They're probably like, I'm trying to strengthen up my ankles for ice skating. That's a viable excuse. It's a viable excuse. Time for some boom boom juice. Oh boy. Oh boy. I forgot to draw his droopy socks. A little bit of sock texture there. Sock texture. It's a texture of socks, baby. Sock texture. Later on today, you're going to sing that to yourselves. It's not my fault. Sock texture. All right. So I'm going to have assistants, other scientists walking with him. Because, science! That's why. Also, all scientists wear glasses in my comics. It's just a thing. I want to stop Christopher Runtsman in an airport for an autograph, and his handlers wouldn't even let me get near him. By handlers, I mean Philip. Chandler the handler. I see what you did there. Jim hasn't called me Honey Pumpkin since before we were married. The thrill is gone. The doggone thrill is gone. And then Jim's now broken into Neil Diamond and Barbra Streisand. I remember when. That was one of those crazy songs that was very time and place, wasn't it? You could never have something that over the top be on the radio today. Just too much. And if you don't remember the song, look it up, because it's like a theater ballad. It really is. It's like it's a song made for singing on a stage. Well, Jim, there'll be one less set of footprints on your floor in the morning. Oh my goodness. Jim will have to walk along the beach and look for a second set of footprints. Sir, what are you doing on this public beach? I'm looking for footprints. Sir, I'm not sure I understand what you're saying. Gary! It'll be great. It'll be great. So this is the scientists all coming in at the airport. That's what we're drawing here. And they're going to get down to business. Do you guys got any big plans for the weekend? Anybody got any grand schemes or designs? And Gary, I hope everything is going well for the release of the 3rd issue of DVSM, Gary's book, which I hope to heavens people that are watching today's stream have checked out. They are very, 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 very good. I was talking to somebody last night that suggested I really should have just done crowdfunding for my book. And while other people can make something out of crowdfunding, I tried to release a book 2022 and tried to set it all up for crowdfunding. And you've already got to have an established fan base to do that. And, someone's going to say, oh, I didn't. Okay, maybe, but generally, yes. Because reasons. I'm missing stuff here. Thank you, sir. I'll be popping up on Jason Alexander's show tonight just for fun, slowly working on a character creation and analysis video about Dr. Wagner, star of 1979. For those that don't know and should know, DVSM 1979 is Mr. Hodges' third book. Third book in a series. All 3 books are available, I believe. Do check them out. Highly recommend them. So Mr. Alexander's channel. It's who is Jason Alexander? I gotta write Jason Alexander down. Because I am unfamiliar with Jason Alexander. So yeah, cool. New thing. This afternoon, I'm going to play hockey. Well, we'll see. Depends on how hot it is. I'm going to fix this foot because it's really bothering me. Not much better. We'll get to it. We'll figure it out. Maybe it's just a weird angle I'm trying to do. Yeah, it is. I'm not making any sense here. We'll clean that up. Okay, so here's one of our other scientists, a lady scientist. And we'll give her some combat boots too. There we go. There's so much that I'm finding myself having to learn right now. It's kind of like this sort of strange, yes, Jim says. Someone left the cake out in the rain. Yes. I missed something. I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. There we go. So one more scientist, and then we'll put a little airplane background here. But just get one more guy in here just to show that there's a whole bunch of peoples. It's like the A team of scientists. Not sure why it's as dark as it is right now. It's a little bit crazy. All right. give this guy a scarf. They're also stylish in some kind of scientist attire. All right. Maybe I'll have this guy's hand in his pocket. That's kind of fun. Mr. Sophisticated here. Just different movements, different bodies, different ways of walking. I mean, ideally, the more unique, different sort of characteristics I can give each person, the more it separates them from one another. And even if there's a sort of a generic look to them, this way it doesn't just lock in on that. It's not all about these three guys wearing, scientific outfits. He's got a coat here. He's got a type of lab coat there. Dr. Johansson's got his lab coat. But before I forget, let's get the other ID badges going here. Gotta have your ID badges. How else are you going to get into security zone F? F stands for fun. Science is fun. I'm going to give this guy a big backpack. There we go. Big old backpack. Backpack. Just highlighting these lines because this one line runs parallel to it and I don't want to be too confusing for myself later when I'm coloring it. We have a very quiet bunch today. Nothing wrong with that. I think that what I'm really trying to figure out is there has to be some degree of refining parts of myself so that, like I mentioned recently, I'm a little rough around the edges, and I want to figure out better how to converse with other people because, you're watching the stream. I say awkward things. What do we got? I'm missing stuff. Gary says, I'm swooping in with the question of the day. And then Jim jumps to the punch and says, question of the day. Can you give me the name of a really cheesy and yet great 70s action movie? There's really only one, and it's Outland. Diddy Willingham will like that because it stars Mr. Sean Connery. Now, Gary says, what's a movie you loved when you first saw it and gradually decided it's actually bad? It's a good question, too. I'm sure there's a big list of things for that. What was I was putting a detail on someplace? They got their passes. All right. Yeah. Oh, I was doing this. I was enhancing that line. Okay. Dueling questions of the day. Movie you loved when you first thought it was good, but turned out to actually be bad over time. Or the name of a really cheesy yet great 1970s action movie. If anybody's seen Outland, I'd be curious to hear their opinion. But I think it's a great film. It really is. So, Gary's question, Crystal Skull. You loved when you saw it and gradually decided it was bad. The Crystal Skull. Doesn't that star Harrison Ford's franchise character? Han Solo? Okay, so I think that I'm going to draw in a little bit of details in the back here. Well, just in case Janet's there. Towering Inferno is a cheesy 70s action movie? What? My dad's in the Towering Inferno. He carries Faye Dunaway in an elevator. Really? That's awesome. My loved and hated movie is probably Garden State. Adored it when I first saw it. Gradually felt like it was pretty bad. That is pretty awesome about your dad, Jim. Sorry, Gary, but that's pretty awesome information. Oh, and Gary says, what? That's super cool. I didn't know your dad was an actor, Jim. What other secrets will we find out about Jim Luan's family? Stay tuned after this. True, they hired a bunch of Laughed. Los Angeles Fire Department? What's that? Your dad was a fireman? Crazy. It's pretty cool. Did you know Steve Buscemi? And my brother killed Nicolas Cage in Vampire's Kiss. Gary says, your dad touched Faye Dunaway? Gary. Yes, he did. So I'm going to just throw down a couple more little directional lines here. Just a push movement. There we go. Much better. Okay. All right. The Lurans are very undercover Illuminati. Not anymore, Mr. Loose Lips Sink Ships, huh? Come on now, fella. Can't believe you gave that away. I'm trying to think hard about this one. Movie that was good when I first watched it and I realized it was bad. And what was the other one, Jim? I'm so sorry. 70s action movie that's cheesy. That's Outland for me. But You know, we're connected with the lizard people. You kinky. One time, Jim and I got breakfast burritos when he visited, and he consumed the entire thing, tiny bits at a time with his long flick fork tongue. I didn't think much of it at the time, but now. Yes, that is a very different way to eat a burrito, as opposed to where my people come from, where we just lean our heads back and slam them into the plate and try to get as much of it into our mouth holes. At least the mouth holes on this meat suit. All right, so it's going to put a little sign up here in the air. I don't know if I mentioned this, but today's music is Kasabian. So if you're familiar with Kasabian, yeah, you're going to need to look it up. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes is cheesier. I changed my answer. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Answer changed. Bingo. Oh, okay. No. It still holds. There is a maybe Death Race 2000 is just cheese festival. There is a movie with, I think it is, who was Alex in Alex of the Droogs in Clockwork Orange? Who's the actor of that? Is it Roddy? No, it's not Roddy McDowell. It's there's a movie with him, and it's about, he plays H.G. Wells, and it's so good. Just realized that Gary and I are controlling the chat today. Therefore, we will now switch the topic exclusively to Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Malcolm McDowell. Thank you, Gary. Malcolm McDowell and David. Anyways, he plays H.G. Wells, and the guy who is the villain in Time Bandits plays Jack the Ripper. And because I'm trying to think of how it works, but basically because of the time travel machine, he is stalking and killing people in California, in San Francisco or something like that. And H.G. Wells hunts Jack the Ripper. I think it's called Back in Time or something like that, or out of Time, or it's something to do with time. Time after time. Time after time. Anyways, so no, it's Time After Time. That's what she does. Anyways, so it's one of Gina Davis's first films. It's one of her first roles. No, it's not Gina Davis. It's Mary Steenburgen. And I love that film, but I realized that film is an absolute cheese factory. David. Oh, it's going to drive me crazy. Anyways. It's so good, though. It's one of those films where you're going to watch it. It's like a Saturday afternoon movie. But I didn't realize until I was an adult that it wasn't as cool as I had remembered as. Gina Davis' first role might have been Tootsie. I think so. Or Earth Girls Are Easy. Speaking of Julia Louis-Dreyfus, she's great. That's all. I would run away with Julia Louise-Dreyfus today. Any era of Julia Louise-Dreyfus, I don't care. If you look up Julia Louise-Dreyfus, she appeared on a TV show in the 1980s or maybe it's the late 70s. Pete. And she had a guest appearance on it. So did Steve Buscemi and a million people. A million people had crazy appearances on that show. And but Julia Louise, she's on it. This is before her brief stint on Saturday Night Live. Very brief. Very, very, very brief. All right. So I'm just putting some lines, some movement. Just some little bits just to get some things happening in the old Pennell here. Oh, happy day. So let's start drawing some crazy animals. Jim says, Julia Louise-Dreyfus, the most valuable player. I didn't even know she played baseball at all. Wow. Just checking the time. Okay. So I've switched today's musical soundtrack to the best of Kenny Rogers. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. 400 children. Anyways. I'm pretty sure those are the words. I'm pretty sure. All right. Well, let's start. Let's just get cracking. I think I want to draw a pelican. Let's draw a pelican. Kids today can't understand how big Kenny Rogers was. Yeah, they couldn't understand what condition this condition was in. Yeah. It's fun to figure out that that's Kenny Rogers. It really is to me. I always think that's kind of cool. Even when I first found out, I went, what? Yeah. Gary? There's a movie where a guy goes back in time on a motorcycle to the Old West. I can't think of the title, but that's my answer for your question. Was it Mad Max? Was it Mad Max? Because that's a guy who's in a desert. I'm pretty sure it's that. Yeah. And he sits on another guy's shoulder and he says, "Who rolls Buttertown?" So we're starting off by drawing ourselves a wobbly pelican. Gary, here's another answer for your question. Battle Beyond the Stars. That's my answer. I don't know that one. Which, you don't know Battle Beyond the Stars? You don't know the movie. Okay, I got one. Sometimes They Come Back. It's a Stephen King adaptation. I thought it was cool when I first watched it, and it is garbage. I realized later it was garbage. Speaking of a Western with a motorcycle, I learned Mary hasn't seen Raising Arizona, so that's a priority now. She what? Yeah. We should remake that with Jim and I as the criminals and Gary as Nicolas Cage's character. I'll be in Forsyth. I gotta be John Goodman. It's a size thing. It'll be remade next year. You watch Kevin Hart and The Rock. And Nick Nolte's character will be played by Justin Bateman. Raising Arizona could be in the Luanverse. Definitely could be in the Luanverse. Definitely. Okay, so I'm drawing. So as soon as I got these characters coming off the airplane, I'm going to have the animals all moving throughout. Let's think of different films that characters could actually be in the Luanverse. That sounds like fun. What kind of characters from different films could be, in Jim's animation world? See, I want to say Glengarry Glen Ross right away, but that's not weird enough. Of course, Fargo is, but did you know that Kenny Rogers married one of the ladies from Hee Haw? Son, you have a panty on your head. That's a great line. Marcellus Wallace is probably the most Luanverse character in Pulp Fiction. Yeah, definitely. I don't know. Even Butch. Yeah, Butch's girlfriend is. Butch's girlfriend is. Do you like my tummy? Oh. There's a movie I like called Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. And it has William Forsythe, Andy Garcia, Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lloyd, by the way, has leprosy in it. Treat Williams. Christopher Walken as a quadriplegic, I'm sorry. He's a quadriplegic in that movie. And Steve Buscemi as a hitman. That is a fantastically great and crazy cast that could definitely all be characters in Jim's universe. Most specifically, and who else? What's his name is in that? I can't remember his name now. Really fantastic actor. It's a black actor that's in it. What's his name? I want to say Delroy Lindo, but that's because I'm thinking about Heist already. Easy Wind, his character is. Oh, it's going to bother me all day. Anyways, yeah, those characters could all definitely be Luhan universe characters for sure. All right, so first thing I'm drawing is a pelican. As one is wont to do. What am I missing stuff? Burn After Reading has a inverse quality. Yes, it does. I just saw Asteroid City and some Wes Anderson his Luanian places. I don't know. It is, but it isn't. I find that I'm burnt out of Wes Anderson. I love the Royal Tenenbaums, but the central plot of Grand Budapest Hotel, the coveted boy with the apple painting, can be a Luan plot. Okay, I'll give you that. I love MacGuffin films. Those are the best. There's Philip Seymour Hoffman. Is it? No, it's not. It's the guy that played the main character in Fargo. William H. Macy plays a guy who's incredibly unlucky so he's hired by a casino in order to stand near people that are on winning streaks. That's a Lou Anvers character in my mind. Yeah, definitely. What are we at? 105. I think that the movie Scrooged with Bill Murray, those characters could all be in his universe too. Time Rider, never seen it. Time Rider. Oh my gosh. Time Rider. It doesn't star Xander Hasselflau, does it? You know, you guys know who Xander Hasselflau is, right? He's the guy that had the singing boat. Kind of want to see this Time Rider now. Yeah, I'm perplexed. I'm interested. If anybody else that's listening to today's stream has any ideas about movies that could readily be adapted into absorbed into the Jim Luan verse, let us know. And if you haven't seen any of Jim's animations, they're all available on his YouTube. Time Rider is totally new to me. Yeah, see, it wasn't just me. Trying to think. The leg be forward. Thinking about where birds walk. There we go. Stop it, Chris. There's no one else but me and Gary. We are the end all. Well, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Maybe Selma Hayek. I just sent Jim a video of her swimming. Oh, for goodness sakes. Are you judging her because she can swim? A lot of the characters in the Mars Attack film could definitely be Lou Anvers characters. In fact, I think those guys that made that movie owe you money. I'm just saying. They know what they did. We're on to them. They know what's what. The entire cast of Hee Haw could be in Jim's movies. By the way, Gary and I get 10 cents for each post in this chat. Public disclosure. 10 cents Canadian. You just made yourself about 92 cents American. Maybe I'll just change that and make it kicking forward. It's too crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, see, that's better. That's better. Okay, so here's our first guy. We've got 500 years from now, Earth is flooded with diverse creatures that science decided will be a good idea to bring back. And this is suggested by Anonymous. So I think that this is a lot of fun. Well, let's put our old friend the emu. Let's bring him back because by then they'll have disappeared. So we're gonna need an emu. All right, or a yak. A yak, yeah. Trying to think of how I can have that. Yeah, I'm gonna have him over here. I just like the idea of them breaking into this panel. It's just sort of fun. There we go. That's a tricky neck. What are we at? 112. So it's a weekend. I wonder if anybody's got any big dramatic plans. We've got one of my kids has his birthday tomorrow. Very excited about that. Really am. We're gonna play the board game of Dune. You think the book's complicated? Yeesh. There we go. Where are we at? 113. The reason I keep asking is that I'm cooking tonight. And I lose track of time all the time right here on the stream. That's the thing about when you're drawing, you just sort of disappear in your drawing. He says, I'm going to make banana bread and try to work on the Dr. Wagner bit a little bit. Mostly take it easy. It's too hot out. That's because Gary lives in Arizona, or as I call it, the second surface of the sun. He told us yesterday how hot it is in his place, and I couldn't understand why all the plastic wasn't melting in his house. Boy, oh boy, when it gets hot like that outside, we just run inside and shove our head in a snowbank that we store in the house. Just for the summer, just because we might need it. We push it all back in the winter. You can learn all about it on Strange Customs of Canada. I'm just saying I like banana bread, Gary. You know, in case you want to mail somebody something, I like banana bread. As one of my grandkids calls it, Nana bread. Nana bread. Okay. All right. I gotta change that beak up a little bit. All right. It's exciting day making banana bread. So on Sunday, on my Substack, all the pages of this week will be posted as usual. If you're not checking out my Substack, feel free to do so. We're going to have some extra features start this weekend on Substack. It's just a different platform, and it's a way to just post all, the week's pages all at once for those that don't want to sit through them each day. So we've got more people following us on Substack already than we have on Patreon. It's pretty silly. What we got? There we go. All right, so we've got a couple of our birds starting out here. This is good. We got 6 bucks hanging out. Everybody's quiet today. What are you all up to? Somebody's doing something rotten. So that's an emu. And then next is pencil that in there like that. Don't want to do an ostrich. It's too close to an emu, right? What about a llama? Huh? I'm going for all the gawky, awkward animals that, with the crazy necks and that's the whole theme here today. You know what, even better, I could draw the Dalai Lama. That ain't funny, Kristen. That ain't funny. The Dalai Lama is a wonderful person. Gary says, I'm at my day job stalling on working on a closed caption. I'm stalling working on a closed captioning a video. Oh boy. All right, so we're going to do his note here first. So last night when we sent in the stuff for the last bit of paperwork and whatnot for the publisher there, I had to do all that entry of information. We had to do that for, how do you describe yourself? What's your shoe size? You ever killed anybody? Just, well, not those questions specifically, but close. You ever danced with a Pam Moonlight? Really personal stuff. 2 trains are racing towards each other on the same track. See. That's how I did it. We'll see how it goes. So I'm drawing our third animal today. I just got a message from my wife that made me go, oh, for heaven's sakes. Oh, boy. It's nothing to do with her. It's something to do with somebody else. She's a silly. She's a silly. Usually when somebody puts a question of the day, we got a bunch of people answering. I think a whole bunch of people are sitting at work trying not to make like they're actually listening to the stream so that they can procrastinate on making closed caption videos as well. And that's just Gary. Look at that hair, huh? Look at that haircut there, huh? Look at that. So we're drawing the llama now. This is fun. It's fun to just draw all these crazy animals. See, this is the sort of thing that I like, is that, hey, draw this. Here's some things have to think yourself like. The diverse creature science decided would be a good idea to bring back. I mean, honestly, I could spend the time with getting the more and more strange, or making the animals look more and more weird as I go. That might be fun too. If you ever get a chance, look at the 1905, 1904 drawings, or 1905 at least, of Winsor McKay's Little Nemo in Slumberland. Or he doesn't know, like, he would draw a page every day. And when he's drawing lions attack, he didn't necessarily know what lions looked like. And unlike today, where you can just look anything up and, oh, there's a lion. 4 legs. Yeah. But sometimes they look a little interesting. And I kind of like that. I really kind of do. Like, there's just something about that that's just, I find that it's more charming, right? Like, it's clearly an artist tapping into memory more so than looking up source imagery or hunting down research. You don't always have enough time to do that when you're on a really tight schedule. I mean, now it's so more accessible, but back then, for sure, no. You'd have to go down. At the very least, the newspaper you work for might have a room downstairs. So for the most part, you're stuck. So he would make up things as best as he could remember them, and there's some really interesting looking animals in it, but fantastic just the same. He gets better as he goes, but time we're at 1:24. I'm gonna have to wrap up in a couple seconds here. So this is the llama that I'm drawing now. And I'm going to keep on with the crazy animals. Hey, listen, if you got any suggestions for crazy, diverse animals that you think should be on this page, feel free to put them in the comments on this video. I mean, we're going to run out of time for the chat, but feel free to put them in the comments on the video. At some point this weekend, I'm going to pop on, but probably later on at night on Saturday or Sunday. In the meantime, I hope everybody stays well and has a great weekend. And I'll be back for those of you that tune in regularly on Monday at 2 o'clock EST. And I look forward to seeing you then. Have fun, keep creating, and stay happy. Bye for now.